Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. How are you? My name is Lucian, but you can call me Lucian if you want. So in my first video I spoke about 4 in 4 though, loops inside loops, and I mentioned that it's best practice to have the SOQL query inside the for statement. And I got asked, why is that? How does it make it better? Well, let's test it out. I'll use this new class called query in for statement, and I'll create a method, let's call it test1, that extracts the child object records and generates a map of total amount rolled up for each parent object. These are two custom objects with a lookup relationship between them. I'm going to query all of the child records, and inside the for I'm populating the map. Finally, I return the result. Now to have something to compare with, I'll duplicate this method, rename it to test2 and make a single change. Get the query outside of the statement, save it in a variable and refer to that variable in the for. To measure the difference between the two methods, I'll add a few debug statements. I want to measure the CPU time, although I don't think that will make a difference since it doesn't measure the time it takes to query the database. Due to that, I also want to measure the real time that passes, but I'm aware that might not be a good criteria either. It can differ based on server load. Finally, I want to see the heap size, since that is where I believe the impact will be. But I also want to measure the heap size inside the for as well. Let's put it here so we don't get 3000 debug logs. Any predictions? I've run the code 10 times because the times fluctuated a bit and I want to make an average. So let's see the results. So overall the CPU time seems to be higher by around 50% when we use the recommended method. So it seems inefficient at first, but we really see the impact when we verify the heap size at the end of the method. The difference is staggering and we can see why Salesforce recommends this method. The interesting fact is that inside the for statement, even for the optimal method, the heap size is larger, but not too large. The reason this happens is because when we use SOQL inside the for statement, Salesforce does not extract everything from the database and puts it into a variable to loop through. What it does is extract the data in batches using a query more method. And when a batch of records is done with, it's released from memory and the next batch is loaded, thus keeping the heap size low. The value is lower at the end of the method due to variable visibility. Once we're out of the for statement, the records that were extracted from the database are released from memory, so the heap size is smaller. Interesting results, right? Well, I want to hear from you. What other best practice do you want me to test out? Write a comment to the video, let me know, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on community, Salesforce community, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching and keep coding!